Hello everyone, I'm Tim Pearson and welcome to the United States Wrestling Officials Association Referee Webinar Program. In today's webinar, I want to go over with you some of the basic duties and responsibilities as a head referee, clinician, and weighmaster. If you've never been a head ref, clinician, or weighmaster at a regional or national tournament, and this is your first assignment, it can be a very overwhelming time for you, as there is a lot of information you need to be aware of. There are forms you need to fill out and know where to find them. There are post-tournament reports you need to fill out, and then you're going to have duties and responsibilities immediately before, during, and immediately after the tournament, and processing all that information can be, like I said, an overwhelming experience. The purpose of today's webinar is to try to lay a foundation for you, to show you what types of forms are there, where to find the forms, the relationship between you as a head referee, clinician, and the various websites to assist you in accomplishing your task as head ref, clinician, or weighmaster. That's what we're going to go over today, to try to, like I say, to help you out and lay that foundation so you have a successful tournament and an enjoyable experience as a head referee, a clinician, or a weighmaster. So let's get into this and start building your foundation. 3 websites you need to be familiar with and know what information is contained within. USA Wrestling Officials website or USWA website, I think most of us are aware of that. Aware of what types of information is contained. This website is managed by Mr. Tom Queasley. He keeps this website up to date and relevant with new and evolving, changing information, things such as the rule book, UWW rule book, USA rule book, video of the day, question of the day, the art of refereeing. Those types of things are maintained on the website, and Tom does a fantastic job keeping that website up to date. But you as a head ref, you as a clinician are going to have, there are a spot here, and I'll show you in a second, where you're going to find key information and key forms for you to execute your duties as a head ref or clinician. USA Wrestling membership system. I know we're all familiar with that as this is referees, because we have to use this system to sign up for tournaments, and we use this thing quite routinely. Now, as a head referee, though, I'm going to take you one step further into this system to help you figure out who's coming to your tournament, so you have a real-time roster that you'll be working off of to knowing who's coming and who's not. So as you begin building your lodging plan at the hotel, you begin building your mat crews, your crews out on the mats. The membership system is a tool that will help you navigate through that. Shorts travel management system. If you are assigned to a tournament and USA Wrestling is going to pay for your travel, I will show you how to navigate through Shorts travel system management system. It's very similar to Orbitz, Priceline, Travelocity, any one of our the regular travel agencies. Shorts is very similar. It's not intuitive if you haven't done it before. So I'll help walk you through that a little bit. So as you get into it, it'll be much easier for you to get your travel taken care of through USA Wrestling. Okay, moving on to the USWA website. This is the website that clinicians and head referees you need to get into so you can get your forms and reports. Right here, forms and reports for officials. All right, this tab here, you want to click on it, and it will take you to the mat pairing tournament report forms. All right, on this page, okay, we'll talk more about some of these things, but the stipend calculator, okay, I'll talk about this later on. The tournament report form. This is the form you're going to complete at the end of the tournament. And later on, I'll talk about this a little more detail. But specifically, as a head referee, clinician, if you are assigned one of those, clinician, here are your clinician forms. Okay. Head referee, here are your forms. Okay. So you know where to find them. USWA.com, form reports and forms. It takes you over to this page here. These are your forms that you're going to use throughout in preparation for and throughout the tournament. Okay, when we clicked on the USWA.com, went to the forms reports page, and then we went down into the clinician forms and the mat official, the head referee forms. These are the forms that were listed, just giving you a pictorial depiction of what they are. Moving left to right, on the top side first is the mat official's checklist. Okay, this is nothing more than what it says, is a checklist for head referees, things that you need to accomplish, in advance of the tournament, pre-tournament, during the tournament, and post-tournament, at the clinic, etc. It's your checklist to ensure you're accomplishing the things you need to do in relation to your tournament, and the timing is appropriate. Clinician responsibilities, essentially this is your checklist. Clinicians, pre-tournament, at the tournament, post-tournament, you have numerous things you need to accomplish, and this is your playbook to assure you accomplish your responsibilities and duties. Mat official assignment. This is a standardized form. I think we've all seen them. How to put your crews together. It's a standardized form to use. Laying in your crews, how many mats you're going to use. One form, and then this is a good tool of building those out to ensure you have quality crews out on the mats. Evaluation form. I know we're all familiar with this because we wouldn't be in the position you are if you hadn't received evaluations coming up the ranks. Make sure that you and the clinician have these available for the youngsters that are seeking evaluation and seeking upgrade. MATA chairman form. The MAT chairman form, clinician should have these, as well as head referee. This is a good form, the MAT chairman, to give their evaluation of what they think these individuals are holistically through the whole tournament, all the individuals they've looked at. We as head refs and clinicians will maybe take a look at an individual for one bout and then move on because we're getting pulled in many, many directions. The MAT chairman can give you eyes on for an entire session, and that's where this form really comes into play, is they are providing you their input on what they have seen through entire sessions. So clinicians and head refs, you need to have these. You're going to want to have these forms available. The next couple forms, the first form here is a protest form with no video. This is a protest form with video. They're two different forms. If you do not have the challenge process, then there are more things that can be challengeable. There are more challengeable items than what is challengeable, protestable during a video review. Okay, so you need to have, depending on the level of your tournament, no video review or with video review. You want to have these forms available to fill out and complete should you run into a protest. Yes, I hope you don't have this happen to you, but you're going to want to have these forms ready and available in case some coach wants to file a protest on something that occurred or did not occur on the mat, and you're ready to go. Once you complete your protest, once you adjudicate and you reach a decision, you're going to have to provide written decision on that protest, and this is the form you will use. You need to fill it out and then provide a copy to the protesting coach and the other coach who was part of that bout, as well as having a copy for USA Wrestling. Stipend roster. This is something, a form that you should provide during the clinic. A lot of our tournaments, national tournaments and our regional tournaments, have stipends associated with them. So having the referees fill out the stipend roster will help you later in the tournament as you're beginning to fill out the stipend calculator and the stipend roster on the system, on the website. So their addresses and everything regarding that referee is correct. And they need to have this filled out because it's very important when you start talking, making sure the referees are getting paid appropriately through the stipend. And then finally, USWA, the clinic sign-in sheet. Okay, you can have this filled out. You can fill this out before you get to the clinic. Clinicians and head referees have a roster already filled out, and I'll show you in a second how to do that. Or you can have a blank form, and just have the referees fill it out. That is your call. I've seen it done both ways. Personally, I have it filled out, and then the guys that walk in to the tournament then will add their stuff below, but I like to have it filled out. But this is completely your call on how you want to do it. Head referee. Okay, weeks prior to the tournament. All right. You want to contact the tournament director. All right. Who is running that tournament for you? Who's the LOC? You want to talk to them about hotels. What hotel are the referees staying in? How many mats are you going to run? How many mats are they planning on running? Where's the clinic going to be held? Is it going to be held in the hotel? Is it going to be held in the venue? Where in the venue? Where are weigh-ins going to be held? Is it going to be held in a singular location, or weigh-ins going to be held in one or two locations? I have been in tournaments where I have had weigh-ins in two separate rooms within a venue, and that becomes very challenging trying to coordinate and keep everything flowing smoothly when you've got two locations within a venue for weigh-ins. And yes, it does happen, and those are types of things that you need to talk to them about. Check the tournament schedule. Okay, we talked about that, helping the tournament director with qualified officials. Lodging, check the tournament schedule on themat.com or the tournament website. Just keep tabs on what is being posted online. Things do change occasionally online, and it can throw a fire into your plans if you're working off old information, or the information has changed on the website and you're not working off current information. I've had this happen to me a couple times. It can be frustrating, but it's impactful in that people may not even be at your tournament and think, because they're en route to your tournament and times and things are changing, and it can really cause some problems, especially when you're building crews, mat assignments, breaks, those kind of things. You need to be aware of any type of schedule changes that are going on. Now, it doesn't happen a lot, very infrequently, but when it does, it can get very, very challenging. Pre-tournament here, okay, help the weighmaster. You're not the weighmaster, head ref. You're assisting the weighmaster. Let them do their job. Assist them, provide guidance to them, but help them set up the room and get ready to go for weigh-ins. Make sure the weighmaster's got all the materials. Okay, make sure they've got pens to write on, markers to mark the shoulders if they're not senior level athletes. We don't mark senior level athletes, but you've got cadets, juniors, kids. You need to mark the weights. You need to mark weights on their shoulders, marking their hands for med checks. Tape, if you need tape to mark the floors to keep the kids from rushing the scales, because once you open weigh-ins, they're going to come running. Make sure you've got scales. Sometimes it's overlooked, and we just assume scales are going to be there. Well, someone's thinking about it. Well, you need to ask the question, what about scales? That way it will prevent any type of issues when you show up and go, hey, where are the scales? Oh, shoot, I didn't think about that. It does happen because it's like wrestling mats. We don't talk about wrestling mats because it's just assumed, but a lot of times, sometimes scales can get overlooked because it's just assumed. So ask the simple questions, and it will prevent problems later on. The clinic, help the clinician set up the clinic room. Okay, help him prepare he or her, help them prepare the camera, the tables, the chairs, make sure that the room is set up. If there's an OEP instructor, okay, all three of you, the OEP instructor, the clinician, and you as a head referee, you want to try to attend the OEP, a little bit of the OEP, or if, at a minimum, the three of you, clinician, head ref, and OEP instructor, you need to ensure that you guys are all on the same page with regards to rules, interpretations, referee skills you want to stress, critical points of emphasis for your tournament. Make sure all three of you guys are on the same page. There's nothing worse than having a head referee talking about one thing, a clinician talking about another thing, and then an OEP instructor talking about something completely unrelated. It's very confusing, and it's very frustrating to young referees that are getting evaluated where they're not sure what they're getting evaluated on. So the three of you, if you have an OEP there, the three of you need to be on the same sheet. It is important. And then finally, you've got a great resource there, head referee, and your OEP instructor. Use them. They're there. They've given the OEP. They're not the clinician. They're not the head referee. They're an OEP instructor. But you can use them to help evaluate, to help anything you may need in the conduct of your tournament to, you may have a weakness somewhere. You may want to move them. You may, there runs the gamut on what you can do. If you got a video review, pull them and have them be your jury, your video review person. I've had that happen a couple times to me. I was an OEP instructor, and then I wound up going out on the mats only to be pulled to do video review. And that's perfectly acceptable because you have a great asset there that can really help you out. So my recommendation is use them accordingly as they can really help add another asset to your tournament. Okay. Coordinate with the chief pair, USWA representative, and tournament director. Okay. I spend an inordinate amount of time working with my chief pairer. How are my match running? What's the tempo that the pairs are going to use? Are they going to close mats down? What's their game plan? Because a pairer can make or break you as a head referee based on what they do or they don't do. USA representative, tournament director, okay, scheduling issues, tournament changes, those kind of things. You're going to want to have a tournament committee established that's going to deal with scheduling issues or tournament changes to the schedule. You're going to want to have this committee on standby, head referee, the head pairer, USWA staff, whoever the USA Wrestling representative is, and the LOC or the tournament director. Okay, what's posted online is what everyone is following. If there's going to be a change to that, the committee needs to come together. The committee needs to make a decision, and then the committee needs to adjudicate and get that word out. You do not do that on your own. Do not try to do that on your own. This needs to come through the committee because you have people, like I said earlier, they're still traveling to the tournament. They haven't gotten there. Now the schedule is going to change, and they're not aware of it. And to mitigate any type of problems, it needs to come through this committee that I've listed here, this committee here, tournament committee. Prepare for weigh-ins and address any weigh-in problems. Folks, I tell you, you need to be prepared to assist the weighmaster and be down wherever the weigh-ins are, to be hovering around the area when issues arise. Okay, I've had issues show up and pop up before weigh-ins even started. I already had weigh-in issues, and then through the weigh-in process, I've had all kinds of things, from inappropriate conduct to singlets that have been modified so bad for the wrestlers trying to make weights, and it runs everything in between. So you will need to be around and down in the weigh-in area to assist the weighmaster should problems arise, because it's going to fall back on you, head referee, and you need to be there to help the weighmaster. Number of mats each session, when they're going to close. This is where you start getting in with your chief pair. You're working with your chief pair. They will tell you how many mats they're going to run, when they're anticipating closure of mats. Now, during tournaments, during the flow of a tournament, I go to my chief pair and ask them to provide me a report on how my mats are running. How many bouts per hour are my mats doing? Are they producing? And I've got at Fargo specifically, I do this every year when I'm a head referee, is I get a look at, and I've got 24 mats running, and I can see 1 through 24 how each mat is doing per hour. Now, I have a baseline, but I see a mat that is down to 4 bouts an hour, and I go down and, hey, how's things going? You wouldn't believe, I had a real bad bleeder. Head cut, would not stop. It bled. We had numerous issues, things like that. Okay, that's understandable. The crew's not moving slow. There were victims of circumstances that has caused them to not be able to sustain a 10, 11, 12 bout an hour average. So, but it kind of gives you an idea on how things are going around your tournament across the mats. And it also helps me identify problem areas that I've got a crew that just doesn't gel well. They're not working. They're slow. So I can adjust that next session, if you will. I can ensure that, hey, maybe that mat chairman I might not want to put him as a chairman because he does run very slow mat, et cetera, and things like that. So working with your chief pairer is very beneficial. And it keeps the information flowing between the two, because as they're adjusting things, from the pairing perspective, it's going to affect you out on the floor with your mat assignments and how you're working your crew. So please stay in touch and coordinate and talk with your pairers routinely. Me as a baseline, at a minimum once an hour, I'm up talking to the pairers on how we're doing out on the floor. Coordinate your break times. This is very important for your crews out on the floor. And I've been on both sides where we're going to have 1 o'clock we're going to break, 1:30 comes and goes, 2 o'clock comes and goes, 2:15 we're still out on the floor. That's very demoralizing to the crews that are refereeing out on the floor. Make sure you get breaks in there to give them a mental break away from the mats. As crews, and I've been there, I still am there today, that the longer I'm on the mat without a break, the more I start to break down mentally. I'm not mentally sharp because I'm getting mentally tired of trying to stay focused for so long. So you need to coordinate break times. If you can't get a break in there, shut mats down. Shut a mat down and tell them to go away for 5-10 minutes to get a break. Away from the mats to clear their heads. Break times, a lot of times we don't think about it, but break times are something that is important to maintain so your referees can maintain and sustain the high level of efficiency that they need to do out on the mats. All right. Who's going to be on the protest committees? We talked about the protest forms. Who's going to be on your protest committee? Well, let's take a look right here. Head referee, clinician, tournament director, coach. You've got to have a coach in there. If you're going to have a protest committee, you've got to have a coach. They bring a coach's perspective to the situation. as a referee, I have a referee perspective, but a coach having a coaching perspective can give an insight that I will tell you, quite frankly, numerous protests I've sat on and been part of. I've had coaches bring things up that, holy cow, I did not even think of that. And I shouldn't because I'm not a coach, but that's the benefit of having a coach. And then your pairing official. You've got to have your pairing official on a protest committee. Then if it's when you adjudicate the protest, these are the individuals that will come up with the decision, and then you fill out your decision form, and then you provide it back to those involved in the protest. But a tournament committee and a protest committee are two. I hope you don't need them. I really do. But plan on having a protest during your tournament. It happens every year. When I don't plan on it, I get it. But plan on having it, just like passivity. Plan on a 0-0 bout. Plan on a protest. Have your stuff ready to go. Your committee is assigned and prepared. Your forms are ready to go. If it happens, you are ready to go and deal with it quickly, because a protest will stop your tournament until it gets adjudicated. So the quicker you can get the protest handled and a decision out on the floor, the faster your tournament is going to get back underway. So just a little bit of preventative refereeing, preventative planning on your part will save you should you get into a protest. At the clinic, okay, you want to help circulate the sign-in sheet. All right, this is the sign-in sheet. You're gonna help the clinician pass around, either filled out or have the referees fill out. Your call on how you want to do it, but have the sign-in sheet go around. As a head referee, you're going to want to explain if you have a challenge, the video review, you got a challenge process, or if you don't have video review, the protest procedure, those things that are protestable, those things that are not protestable. You're going to want to communicate as a head referee. You want to communicate the schedule of the tournament, when the sessions are going to go, when you're going to break for lunch, dinner. Is there a hospitality room? Where the hospitality room is at? Is there a referee social? And when and where? Which night of the tournament that they're going to be. Now, you may run into sessions are still going and the social will be going simultaneous. Unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast, but you need to have that type of information and pass it to the referees in a timely manner. The more information you pass, the better, the more the referees are informed, and the more cohesive your unit will stay, and the more transparent you will be by passing that information and keeping everybody informed. Communicate with the officials working for an upgrade. Okay, this is for you and the clinician, but make sure that the young referees that are going for upgrade and they have their eval forms, that they talk to their chairman before the session starts and ask for an evaluation. Make sure they know. Don't wait until the end of the session and then hand a form and say, would you evaluate me? That is one of my pet peeves, that when that happens, I can't do it because I don't remember. I'm looking at a lot of different things as a chairman. I've got all kinds of things I'm responsible for and I'm doing in the conduct of my mat, that when you come up at the end of the session and say, I want evaluated, I'm lucky to remember 2 or 3 things that you've done. Give it to me right up front before the session starts. Hey, Tim, will you give me an evaluation? Sure. Now, through the entire session, I can watch you. I can take notes on you. I can jot little crib notes down on my paper to help me at the end of the session give you an evaluation, not just, hey, you did a good job, but I can give you a proper evaluation, tell you some of the things you did well, tell you some of the things you did not do well, and tell you some things that I think you need to improve on and how to improve on it. And it also allows me during the session that I can do this real time, constantly talking to you, telling you what I'm seeing, giving you advice on things I would like to see you change, seeing if you can change it. Are you doing it? Are you making the changes during the session? But make sure your referees know up front. Don't wait till the end. Stipend collector, calculator, the roster here. Okay, this roster, pass it out simultaneous as you do with the clinic sign-in sheet. Have the referees fill it out properly. Name, first name, last name, street address, city, zip code, state, etc. You will use this for the stipend calculator later on, and I'll show you that here in a little bit. But this is your way of ensuring that referee's information gets into the calculator. So at the end of the tournament, when the stipends are formalized and checks are written or put into our arbiter, that the proper information is there for the referees. Now, we're dealing with money here, guys. So the clinic roster is important, but equally, if not more, is the stipend roster used for the referees to get a stipend collector. And as the head referee, that is your responsibility, working with the LOC to ensure the appropriate, the accurate information is provided for the stipend. Mat assignments. Okay, this is going to be one of your all-consuming tasks as a head referee, and the sooner you can get on this, the better. I start whenever I'm assigned as a head referee. As soon as I start seeing rosters, and I'll show you where to find those in a second, but as soon as I start getting rosters, I start building my crews. Now, I would recommend that you and the clinician, you work together, you coordinate together. Sit down, the two of you, via email before you get there, and then when you're there, you sit down periodically and build your crews for the sessions. You need to work as a team. Whoever's best on the computer at the tournament, whoever's best on the computer, let them do it. If the clinician is good at the computer and head ref you're not, then let them do the nug work of fingering in the information into the mat assignments. But ultimately, through the two of you guys, listen, head referee, it is your responsibility. It is your call. The success and failure of the crews you put together, it's all going to come back on you. So the clinician is there to help you, offer advice, but the ultimate responsibility is you. Now, looking at the mat assignments, one of the very first things I do personally is I assign my X's, my mat chairman or my X's, depending on how many mats I run. Okay, in this case, I run 9. I've got 9 mats. I pick out my top 9 mat chairmen, the individuals I want to run each one of those mats. Once I put my mat chairman in, I then will go to my category 1s, and I will start plugging my 1s in here. I will start plugging 1s. Once I get all my 1s in, then I will do my 2s, get my 2s in. Once I get my 1Cs, I'll put my 1Cs in. Then I go through, I put my 2s in. Then I put all my 3s in. And then by the end of once I run through my roster, all my mats will have assigned referees. Then I can take a look at, okay, I've got these individuals here. I can see and take a look at the crews. Will these crews work well together? Will they not? Okay. As a new head referee, you may not know a lot of the personalities of the referees that are assigning, the strengths and the weaknesses, because you're new at doing head referee clinicianing at a tournament. But when you put these together, if something is not copacetic or something is not good, it should jump out at you, and you can make changes to that. But that's how I lay in my mat assignments. I start with my mat chairman first. I do my mat chairman. I get my mat chairman all assigned first. Then I put my 1s in. Then I put my C's in. Then I put my 2s in. Then I put my 3s in. And I just flow it right straight on down, and then I adjust accordingly from there. It's real simple. So during the tournament now, You've got your crews, you're out on the floor, they're working. All right, you're in charge. Head referee, you're in charge of everything good, everything bad, and everything indifferent. You've got it all on your shoulders. It's absolutely imperative that you keep, and let me phrase this, it's imperative you keep as much away from the crews as possible, okay? Let them referee. Let them do what they're assigned to do on the mat. The more chaos you can keep away from them, the better, because now they're focused on refereeing what you want them to do, and you're taking care of all the on the mat crap, thing that's going to come at you that you don't want the crews tied into. Make sure your crews keep their mats neat and orderly. There's nothing worse than looking out over the floor and seeing trash laying all over the place, empty pop bottles under the seats, half-filled coffee cups sitting on the table, bout sheets strewn about. It's not a professional appearance. And, you know, when people look at your mat, if they see, you know, it's disheveled, it looks like crap, they pretty much have formulated an opinion that this is a substandard. You know, we got the JV crew here. Make sure you keep your area clean. You present a professional appearance in your professional. You know, your referees look professional. The mat is professional. It's clean. It's run professional. The coaches and those that come up in support of that bout are going to be a little more relaxed because it is a professional atmosphere and they know what they're dealing with here. So please have your crews keep their mats neat and orderly. You as a head referee or a clinician, you need to be on the mat, need to be on the floor at all times. Don't you two disappear and you're not to be seen or found or heard from during sessions. You need to be out on the floor looking for trouble, helping mitigate problems, and keeping the crap away from the crews. That's your job, to help the crews out, to let them do their job, and you do what you're supposed to do. There's not a better compliment, I'm telling you, than some of the things I've dealt with and got tied into as a head referee, that when the crews come off the mat and we talk the next session, they go, I have no idea that happened. I have no idea. Wow, that really happened? Yes, that's what you want. They can focus and do what they got to do, and you keep all that stuff away from them. So now moving on, when I talked about building, getting my roster in advance, the wrestling membership system. Like I say, we all are familiar with this because this is how we collectively will sign up for tournaments, get our membership renewed, etc. When you go into the membership system, obviously the first page, you're going to want to sign in. It's going to take you to the profile membership page. On this page here, what you want to do is you want to click this little guy here, this little icon. You're going to click him, and this drop-down box is what's going to come up. All right. You need to reach out if you're a head referee. Let me back up here real quick. If you're a head referee for a regional or national tournament, you need to reach out to Derek Sikora and have him give you head referee administrative rights to the membership system. What that does is when you click on this little guy and this drop-down menu comes, you're going to come and click on officials admin. All right. Once you click on that, it's going to take you to the next page. Now, if you have administrative rights for your tournament as a head referee, okay, it will take you to this page. As an official, as a head referee, you want to click on the officials. This drop-down menu will pop down. Officials, which you won't be able to get into, the events. And then for everybody's situation awareness, Tom Queasley and Derek Sikora was able to add, and Casey Gessel was able to add the USA Wrestling rule book here. So we also have two sources now on the USWA page and our membership system where you can get the rule book should you not have a copy. But anyway, when you hit that drop-down menu, USWA events is going to pop up. You'll will give you a drop-down menu of all the tournaments for you as a head referee. It will give you the tournament that you are the head referee for. So you click on it and you pull the event for the officials. So for my tournament here, I just clicked 2019 UWW Cadet U23 World Team Trials. I click on that. I hit, it pops up here in the event. I click on pull event for the officials. Now, when you pull the event officials, okay, it's going to provide you a listing of all the referees and all the pairers that are assigned, that have signed up for your tournament. So right here, I know for 2019 UW Cadets U23 Team Trials, I know I've got Chuck Graziano, I've got Nahama, and I've got Sam Julian. I know they're all M1s by category, and I know when they're coming and when they're leaving. All right, this is one section here. All right, the coming and going. Now, knowing who you've got showing up, that's great, and that really helps, and the category helps. But one column to really pay attention to is the arrival date and the departure date, when these guys and gals are showing up and leaving your tournament. If you've got a 4, 5, 6 day tournament, like the dual tournaments, Fargo, U23s, you need to pay attention when guys are getting there and when they're leaving, because this will impact on how you're building your crews and how you're doing your mat assignments. If Chuck is going to be there on day 1 and then he leaves day 3, well, you can't assign Chuck on day 4 because he's not there. All right. And same thing with, the other guys. Nahama may not be getting there till day 2 and leaving day 5. Well, I can't sign him on day 1 because he's not there. So this is sometimes gets overlooked. This column here sometimes gets overlooked, but you need to pay attention to it, and especially when you start building your assignments. Now, this is all wonderful when you're on the computer. Now, what if you are away from the computer and you want to take the database with you? Well, this right here, export the officials. You can click on export the officials. Now it will give you an Excel spreadsheet. It will download an Excel spreadsheet of all the referees and pairers that are signed up for your tournament. Then once you save the Excel spreadsheet, it's downloaded on your hard drive. Then you can go in and you can manipulate these columns on what you want. Now, do I need the T-shirt size? No, I really don't care. Safe Sport, I know they're all Safe Sport compliant, or else they couldn't sign up for the tournament. I know what tournament it is. It's this. A lot of these things I'll delete out, but who they are, what category are they, and the dates are, pieces of information that I want as I build my database for my crews, and then I can assign and start building my tournament very early on. I'll start building my assignments, and then I can adjust as I see new people sign up. Sometimes people sign up, they have to drop out, but there are multiple things you can do with this. But downloading it, and then date, it's a date stamped, so you have it real time, so you'll know what's changing, and that will help you as a head referee clinician on who's coming to your tournament for building your mat assignments and your lodging requests, your room assignments with the LOC for lodging. So using the membership system is a very beneficial tool to help who's coming and who's going to support your tournament. Stipend calculator. We talked about earlier of building the roster, passing it through, building it, passing the roster through to having it. Now, when you go to the reports and the foreman reports for officials, obviously you click it, comes over your stipend calculator. All right, this is the stipend calculator for the head officials. When you click it, this is what comes up. This is the stipend calculator right here. It's built, the stipend is typically built on sessions, how many sessions a referee works. So as a head referee, you're going to want to keep tabs of that. The clinic is a session. Now, when you have the form, the stipend roster filled out, you'll take that information and you'll use it down here by filling out the calculator. So when you put Tim Pearson in, I live here, I'm this and that, I competed, I attended 5 sessions, okay, then it will calculate it. When you fill out these, how many sessions I worked, etc., it will fill out a figure, a dollar amount here. So you'll know what each referee will make. So this is how the stipend roster, filling it out and then transposing it over on the stipend calculator through the USWA webpage here, fills out this, so your referees get paid in a timely manner. So that's why I say it is extremely important that the referees, you, the clinician, and the referees don't overlook the stipend roster. Fill that out correctly, have them filled out correctly, and use that to fill it out. There's nothing worse, I'm telling you. There is not a worse feeling than having a referee go, "Hey Tim, how come I didn't get paid?" And you look and go, "Oh geez, I didn't fill this out correctly, or I didn't submit your name." This is one form you really want to pay attention to and ensure it is correct before you submit it to the LOC for the stipend reimbursement. Tournament report form. Okay, same location. Go to your mat pairing form. Here is the tournament report form right here. When you click on the report form, this comes up. It's very easy to fill out. It's filled in. You fill your email address in, the tournament name. What tournament are you? Then you just go and you answer the questions. It's fill in the block, fill in the blank, and it just rolls right on through. Then when you get done with the report, you hit enter, and it goes to Mr. Queasley, and then Tom takes all our reports, our head referee reports, and compiles them into one database. So at the end of the year, we take these reports, we look at them and analyze them, and look for where we can improve our various tournaments for the next year. I can tell you, we do look at these. I remember when U23s, universities in Akron, had some challenges, a lot of challenges, but through the tournament directors, leaders, head referees, filling out the end of tournament, the tournament report, and providing corrective suggestions, corrective criticisms, and recommendations. The LOC in Akron, Cleveland Sports, did a phenomenal job of taking those on board and making that tournament a better tournament, not only for the athletes, but for referees and everyone involved. They really took it on board. But we use these tournament reports to help pass that information on, to help these tournaments get better and for everybody involved in it. So as a head referee, get with your clinician, get with your Maymaster, and the three of you collectively put together a good quality report, because it'll only help those that are following your footsteps in the next year or so. Okay, code of conduct. On the mat pairing tournament report form down here, you'll see a code of conduct form. All right, this is the code of conduct right here. This is what we all adhere to. We should be complying with as wrestling leaders at all levels of our association, USA Wrestling. But this is our guidelines. These are our bylaws. This is the code of conduct. You should be aware of this, and our referees should be aware of this. So you need to make them aware at your tournament. If you have a code of conduct issue at your tournament, I hope you do not. But here is the form that you will fill out, and you will submit if there is an ethics violation. I pray you don't, but you may, and I would prepare for some type of a violation, some type of an issue at your tournament, just like the protest. having these forms available and ready to go should you have something flare up. Please do. And like I say, I have had ethics issues, code of conduct issues occur before weigh-ins even started. I have had issues, and I've had issues all throughout tournaments. So having this form available and being prepared will only help you. Okay, clinician, like I talked about with the head referee, you have things before the tournament. Okay, make sure you reach out to who your head referee is. Okay, you guys share tournament responsibilities and make sure that you and the head referee are working together. I know working U23s, Jimmy Spielman and I spent an inordinate amount of time talking with each other, emailing each other on tournament responsibilities and working to make sure availability of rooms, technology, whiteboards, where the clinic's going to be at, referee lodging, contacting referees if emails were bad. So, you and your head referee are going to be a team going through this. Make arrangements to be at the tournament early. Okay, get there a day or so early so you're ready to go. If your tournament's on a Friday, try to get there on Thursday. You don't want to walk in 5 minutes before you're supposed to give the clinic and then you don't know where anything's at. Okay, make sure you're there early and prepared. Like I said earlier in the beginning, make sure you go to the forms page on the website and you have all your requisite forms downloaded and ready to go. All right. In conjunction with the head referee, you also, please, check the tournament schedule, the times and the rule clinic, etc. Make sure your timeline is exactly what is posted. Now, finally, reach out to the National Rules Interpreter. Reach out to Casey. Reach out to Zach, Casey Gessel, Zach Arrett. Reach out to our interpreters and for any new rule interpretations. Okay, make sure you're operating on the correct rule set and the interpretations of the rule set as you go into your clinic. And mostly, there probably won't be any changes, but there may be subtleties that a re-emphasis on this, a refocus on this, a change of interpretation on that. But reaching out to Zach, Casey, will help you as you go into your clinic that you have the latest information and are prepared to give a quality clinic with updated rules, etc. At the tournament, set up your room, make sure you're ready to go, pass out the clinic sheet, check the membership system. If you get somebody that walks in and says, "Hey, I'm here to referee," you and the head referee need to go into the membership system and check to ensure they are Safe Sport compliant and their membership is current. If they are not green on the membership system, they don't have a current membership system membership. They are not Safe Sport compliant. They do not referee. You cannot let them referee until they comply and they are all filled out. You conduct all the clinics pre-tournament, during the tournament, and if necessary, a post-tournament clinic. But in between sessions, you're going to want to talk about major points, good things, not so good things to improve on. But that is your responsibility. Make sure you're working with the head referee. This is not your show solely, but make sure you're coordinating with and talking with the head official, the tournament director, and the chief para as necessary. And finally, and most importantly, don't try to take over being a head referee. Stay in your lane as a clinician. Help the head referee, but don't try to overtake the head referee. If you're a senior referee as a clinician and you have a junior first-time head ref, help them. Help them navigate, help them so they don't step into a minefield and get in trouble, but you are not the head referee. They are. Help them and work together as a team. Okay, two publications you need to be intimately familiar with. On the left, you'll see the USA Wrestling Rulebook, and on the right, you'll see the UWW Rulebook. You need to be aware and understand what is contained in each one. We get our rules from the International Wrestling Community, UWW, but we have USA modifications to some of the rules. As a head referee, as a clinician, you need to be aware of what those rule interpretations are in the USA. So know what the international rules have, but most importantly, if it's a non-UWW tournament, it's just a standard USA tournament, you need to know what the rule modifications are in the USA. Okay, and it's incumbent upon you to know that. And that'll keep you out of a protest later on, should you wind up, should that happen. Weightmasters, okay. Just like the clinician, make sure you set up your weighing location, where you're going to put your scales, how you're going to bring the athletes in, how they're going to exit. Okay, make sure you've got all the pens and markers and tape. Should you have to mark off stop start because the kids are hungry, they're ready to weigh in. When you say go, here they go. They're going to come running. So you need to make sure that you've got them channeled so that they can follow the procedures, so you have a very efficient weigh-in. Sure, you got enough people to do weigh-ins. You may want to assign folks to weigh-ins so you have enough to cover. I typically like to run 3 per scale. A writer, someone who verifies, looking at the scale itself, the monitor on the scale, a scale monitor, watching where the kids step on, so they're not they're centered. They're not trying to I don't want to say cheat, but cheat by hanging a toe over or something like that to try to make them weigh lighter. And then a line monitor to keep the next individual back away from the scale, because they will bunch up. They will try to bunch up and gang rush the scale to get on quickly. And then you'll have mass humanity around the scale, and you don't want that. You want it to be orderly and efficient. Make sure you tell everybody, Weighmaster, how you want the weigh-in procedures. I want the actual weight on the card. I want the actual weight on the shoulder. I want how you want things done so that everybody understands and it's efficient. Last thing you want is scales to do their own thing. Make sure they're complying with how you want things to be done, your process. Okay? You want to ensure you got people to do med checks, check fingernails, check for skin issues. You're going to want some for crowd control because coaches are going to want to try to come into the room. They're going to want to try to moms and dads of their athletes are going to want to try to get in there. And then the kids are just going to want to try to get to the scales as fast as they can so they can eat. So make sure you've got folks to do crowd control. You're going to work closely with the head official, the chief para, and the tournament director for the weigh-ins. The bout sheets, they're not the bout sheets, the weigh-in sheets. You're going to want to ensure the para gets there. This is going to be your responsibility. And if issues come up, you're going to want to work with the head official on resolving them and keeping the head referee informed and then resolve them. But ultimately, Weighmaster, you are responsible for everything weigh-in related. This is your job. The clinician and the head referee should not be in there running weigh-ins. As a head referee, I'll give you my guidance and then turn you loose and run the weigh-ins, and hopefully you run it efficiently and effectively. Everything that is good and not good about weigh-ins is solely on your shoulders. So it's a good idea to go out and, those that have run weigh-ins before, pick their brains, and they can help you on running an effective, smooth weigh-in process for your tournament. So, but you are ultimately responsible for weigh-ins. Okay, if you are assigned and you are going to be, USA Wrestling is going to fly you to a tournament, this is how you will use the Shorts Travel Management System. Shorts Travel is just like Orbit's Travelocity, Priceline, but is USA Wrestling's travel agency that they use to work our travel and coordinate our travel. So when you type in Shorts Travel USA Wrestling, you'll come up with Shorts Travel Management. Click on it, and it will take you to a login screen. If you are a new user, if you're a brand new head official and you haven't traveled with USA Wrestling before, you will have to click on new user and then build your profile within Shorts. If you're a current member, current user, then you type your username and your password and hit enter. When you do, it will take you to this page here. Now, this page is where you're going to start building your profile for your travel. Where do you want to travel from? Where do you want to travel to? The day you want to depart, the day you want to return, and then the airport. So I want to leave my area. I'm going to Canada, Ottawa. I'm going to leave on the 4th. I'm going to come home on the 10th. Okay, I type all that in. It brings up the airport that I'm going to. I click search. It's going to take me to this page here. All right. Shorts online booking, Shorts travel request form. You want to click on the online booking. Okay. Once you click the online booking, it will take you to this next form. This next form will carry over what you filled out, where I'm leaving from, where I'm going to. It's me. Okay. When I want to leave, when I want to come home. Okay. I make sure all that is correct. I only need a flight. I don't need a hotel in a car. I only need the flight. Then I click, I look at all airlines. I'm going to Ottawa. I click search. Once I click search, then all based on what I wrote over here, what was over here is going to appear over here. Okay. I'm going from Norfolk to Ottawa, leaving on the 4th, coming home on the 10th. It will list the airlines and flights available within this parameter here. So for me, this came up. I'm going to, Senior Pan Ams on the 4th, come home on the 10th. I think I chose this here. This is the one I wanted. I click on it. That's the travel I want. I click. It'll take me to the next. I've got my return trip coming back. Then what it does, it brings you up to your purchase reservation page. All right. I go back through. It's me, my phone numbers, my emails, birth dates, my known travel number if you're TSA pre. Okay. Departments. This right here. Departments. All right. When you click on departments, this comes up right here. All right. It will give you this drop down menu. All right. You are not an official. Do not click on 13. You are an event. You click on events, and that will populate here. Events will populate right in here. Okay? Very important. Do not click on officials. Then, for the purpose of the trip, whatever you're the head referee for U23 World Team Trials. You're a clinician for Fargo, whatever, but that will add the purpose of why you're requesting that. But again, when you go to fill all this out and you go to departments, you'll click on it. You will click on events, not officials. If you click on officials, it goes to a different department in USA Wrestling, and you'll run into problems where you won't get your travel. So you understand that, and then like I say, that's just added information on why you're requesting to travel. So somewhat of a lengthy discussion on head referee duties, responsibilities, clinician, weighmaster, how they interrelate, the websites, the forms in support of your duties, the reports you'll fill out at the end of your tournament. But at the end of the day, taking this information, understanding where to find the forms and reports, and begin building your tournament early, hopefully this laid a good foundation for you as you begin to prepare for your tournament. And I truly wish you the best. If it's your first time, just be patient. Don't get frustrated. lean on those of us that are around, senior guys and gals that have done this before. Lean on them, pick our brains, and we will absolutely help you in any way we can to ensure you have a successful tournament and ensure you have a good experience as a head referee and then or a clinician or weighmaster, and then you will continue to grow and great things for you. So with that, I wish you all the very best, and I look forward to seeing you at a tournament down the road. Thank you.